Request to address the board from commissioners from Mr. Bill Toney. You get 15 minutes to come to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Bill Toney, McDonough. I'd like to check with Mr. Moss. We were meeting before last that about our police precinct, if we could build it for $2 million. Can we do it? Have you checked in on it? I called past Commissioner Reed Bowman. He builds a lot of the buildings in the county, and I've called him twice, and he don't call back. But anyway, I don't know if any of y'all are aware of what happened to me last week, but not a very good thing. We have swapped a police precinct for a water park. My car was sitting in my driveway Thursday night, and I got the window shot out of it. Now, whether you know anything about it or not, I don't know. It's not good. The last meeting that I was here and I got up and spoke, I was verbally assaulted outside the building down here. All these people are doing, if they're attacking me for getting up here and speaking for the people of the county, they're doing nothing but pissing me off, to be honest with you. Now, whether anybody here has got anything to do with it or not, I don't have any idea. But I tell you what, there will be a list of names, and maybe some of y'all's names will be on this list, will be my attorney if anything does happen to me, and I want y'all to really think about that. Now, you can't penalize people for getting up here, taxpayers, and you can't assault them, and you can't do things like that. Now, the guy that assaulted me verbally outside here was part of the management team at Cotton Fields. He didn't want to know what I had to say, and he's saying that my stuff is not correct. Well, let me say this. Everything I get from the county. My numbers from the county are supposed to be spot on. That's what we pay all these folks for. Well, according to what they're saying, that y'all hadn't paid them in 7 months. They're $17,000 a month. I've checked with the county manager, and it's absolutely true. Does this county, and I know Mr. Cash, he wants to be the shining star here, and and bringing everybody to the county, but we got to get our affairs in order. You don't go making deals with people, even if it's a bad deal, and not pay your debts. We don't want to be known for not paying our debts. Now, this $119,000 that we owe these people, from what I understand, will be coming out of general funds. Is that correct? You can nod or whatever. So, I know that I'm not going to take up any more than 15 minutes if any of y'all want to speak to me. We need to get our county in line. This has been, and I'm being straight up with you, y'all about the most do-nothing board I've ever seen. I don't know that, if you're waiting for somebody to call and tell you how to vote, I don't know what the deal is. Y'all are not getting anything done. I've asked to take a look at all these records and everything else, and it all falls on deaf ears. Now, I get up here and I speak up and I do my research and everything. I get shot at, my car gets shot, I get jumped out here in the parking lot. Now, this isn't right. I have a First Amendment, but I also have a Second Amendment right, and I will exercise both. And I'm being straight up with you on that. Now, getting up here and speaking to y'all, I think as a taxpaying citizen in this county, I pay taxes on 7 houses, and I have every right to get up here and speak as anybody does. I believe in doing the right thing. Now, getting back to this golf course, this seems to This seems to fire everybody up, you know. But that is the truth. It is a money pit. And the citizens, when they wake up and look at how much this thing's costing people, it's amazing. And it's still costing us money. It's going to cost us money years to come. Mr. Barham made a comment that as long as he's sitting there, that we're not going to sell that thing and lose any money. Well, let me tell you something. You'll be dead and gone a long time from now before that ever gets sold and make any money. In business world, I know I don't think you've ever been in business. I'm not going to say you wasn't, but I'm going to say that your philosophy in business, you'll go broke. This is putting good money after bad. This is not the way you do good business. Sometimes you have to cut your losses and move on down the road. Now, we hadn't even tried to sell it. We hadn't tried to do anything with that golf course. We can't shut it. We can't do anything. It just keeps sucking the county dry. Our tax-paying dollars just keep on going with it. And this right here, knowing that we still owe these people, well, the guy out in the street, or the guy in the parking lot, told me that this wasn't all of it. They also owe another $130,000, so y'all owe them over $300,000. Now, logically, I get to thinking, what company would be involved in something not getting paid? Let me tell you, if y'all owed me $300,000, we'd be in court. I would sue you. You know, if you owe me the money legally, then I'm telling you, I'd be in court with you trying to get my money. Not still doing it. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, the people responsible for that golf course, again, it wasn't y'all. But I'll tell you what I like to do. I like to introduce y'all and the public to who it was. Your chairman, Cotton Fields Golf Course, when they bought it, Jason Harper. District 1, Warren Holder. District 2, B.J. Mathis. District 3, Randy Stamey. District 4, Reed Bowman. District 5, Johnny Besler. I like for the public to know the name and the face of the people that were responsible for this whole thing, how it got started. Again, you got 6 people up here to try to straighten it out. Every one of you guys I've talked to about this before you were elected, pretty much, and then most after you were elected. Now, when we go back to this right here, we need to shut it down, get rid of it. That's when you need your development authority to get involved in how to get rid of this thing and how to put businesses on that property instead of us losing our shirt on it. That's where I think people like Mr. Cash over here in the development authority, this is what we need to be working toward, getting people in here so we can get a tax base coming out of there to where it starts paying for itself. If you go with Mr. Barham's idea, you'll end up in bankruptcy on that thing. I'm telling you, because it's just a lost cause. You got to cut your losses and get on down the road. Now, in my business, I don't make perfect buys every time when I buy golf cars. Some of them I might lose money on, but I'm not going to sit there and look at them until one day, miraculously, they go up in value, and I get to keep it. Last, I'd like to again reference Mr. Cash again. Now, we're up here to bring people into the county. We talk about.
You need to keep it to county issues.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This board. He is
I'm sorry.
not affiliated with any of this.
Well, our development authority.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, he's not government.
Excuse me. But when you got something like this golf course sucking you dry, and it's eating up money that you can be using for the police department. My car got shot Thursday night. Friday morning, my wife went out to get in it. All right, she called me. She said, the window's busted out of the car. So I told her, I said, call 911. I'm on my way. I passed a police officer on my way home. I get home. 2 hours later, I have a police officer to show up. I called twice because I figured something might have happened. Now, 2 hours to get a police officer to my house. That's ridiculous. So I asked the police officer when he got there, I said, what's the deal? How come it took y'all so long? Well, he said, well, there's only one police officer, and I got sidetracked 3 times on the way up here. Do you think I wanted to hear that? Let me tell you, and I think, Mr. Prince, I think you work with the police a good bit. Do you think there's enough police officers out there?
Yeah.
Do you think that some of this wasted money that we're wasting on bull like this, we could be hiring more police officers? Don't you think about how many police officers we could get with the money we're losing on cotton fields? It's ridiculous. We got to get it in here. You're not going to get businesses in here or anything else when you got crime rate going up, and you get your window shot out of your car. It takes 2 hours to get a police officer to your house. This is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. Now, I don't know what's going on in the police department. I don't even know if it was like it's Bill Toney, get it when you can. I don't know anything about that. I know that I'm standing there in my driveway for 2 hours waiting on a police officer to get there. I get a police officer to come, and I get another one to apologize. I had 2 in my driveway. One apologizing, and one. Now, to be honest with you, I'm used to somebody asking me questions about filling out a report. That sound normal? He hands me a piece of paper and says, fill it out and give a brief description on what happened. To me, we got issues here. And let me tell you, anytime you swap a park, a water park, for a police precinct, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Now, you need to be rethinking. All y'all need to be rethinking. And Mr. Moss, you can speak up if you want to, but I tell you what, I think that you were totally off track when you said, you're willing to give up a precinct for a park. I kind of have to be with that lady that stood here the last meeting, and I'd have to say no to both, because I don't think you're getting it done. I think this is probably one of the weakest boards I've ever seen. It's a do-nothing board. And then we got Mr. Preston. He's taking himself to Tennessee with his leaving a destruction behind on his part. And I'm totally being honest with everybody. And Mr. Preston, you need to get Rick Jeffries off the water board. We met with attorneys at the state capitol, and they said it was a conflict of interest. At least do the right thing before you leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we recognize